All right, E3 Coliseum continues. We're moving right on now to Assassin's Creed. So let's bring up the guys from the Assassins team. Come on out, guys.
Hello.
Good to see you.
Hey, buddy.
Karl, good to see you. How's everything? Come on in. Grab my iPad for your questions. In this session, we're going to talk about the newly announced Assassin's Creed Origins. First of all, congratulations on the announcement. Game Informer cover. Microsoft press conference, Ubisoft press conference. Lots of news out there about it. So for people that may just be catching up on the news, we're going to show you some amazing gameplay, lots of gameplay, so stick around from the game. But catch us up. You guys took a year off for Assassin's Creed last year, back this year, new setting. Tell us about the decision to go to Egypt for this one.
Yeah, so right after Black Flag 3.5 years ago, we started working on this project, so it's been a long road for us. The intention back then was really... Oh, the mic? Okay. The intention, so we started 3.5 years ago, right after Black Flag. And we had this urge, this need to somehow create something very authentic AC, but completely reinventing the experience. And when we talk about reinventing experience, we're talking about the narrative structure, the gameplay, the world, but yet wanting to do something that was important to the series. And this is where we started talking about things like, can we tell the origins of the Brotherhood that we knew from AC1? We've had the conflict between Templars and Assassins, or I should say free will and order, for a very long time, since Adam and Eve. But to show how the Brotherhood came to be from AC1, this was the story we wanted to tell. Now, how do you tell that important story in an important setting? And we naturally went into ancient Egypt, and it's been a dream project for many of us to do Egypt, to be able to have the tech to build this country. And so it was a very quick succession to say, we're doing ancient Egypt, it's going to be the birth of the Brotherhood, and let's reinvent Assassin's Creed.
And this is Montreal, Singapore, and lots of studios getting involved in this is normal, right? Awesome.
Right.
All right, well, you guys have 2 demos you guys are going to see. I know we've had lots of talking, lots of different types of things this morning. Now this is all about showing you guys a lot of gameplay. You guys into seeing some gameplay on Assassins? All right, so they got 2 demos we're going to see, and then we're going to take some questions in between each demo. I'm really going to hand this over to you guys. Why don't you tell us about this first extended piece of footage we're going to see, which is like 20 minutes, right? Something like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I'll move my mic. Yeah, so the first demo, it's so we have a playable here at E3. So we encourage people to come by and check it out, play it, feel it for themselves. It takes place in an area of the world called the Faiyum, which is a beautiful lake in the world. It takes place about halfway into the story, let's say, to the quest line, the main quest line. And we catch up with Bayek, who is our protagonist. He's a native of Siwa. He is effectively the embodiment of ancient Egypt. We wanted a character that, how can we physically represent ancient Egypt? Bayek is that guy. Yeah. And we catch up with him at level 20. So he's outfitted with that kind of gear. And then we kick off the adventure for the demo from here.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Right, well, let's take a look.
Let's start.
You guys are going to guide us through it, what we're seeing, right?
Perfect, yep.
Awesome.
So here we are. So we're in the Faiyum. As you can see, we have a quest up there that says the crocodile. That's the name of the quest. So the adventure we're going on effectively is that Bayek is unraveling a mystery. Something has happened in his hometown that has pushed him out into the world of Egypt. He is discovering the world of Egypt as much as the player is, to an extent. He knows about it, but he's never really been that far from his home. And something has happened that has pushed him out. And here, all he really has is this information that he's looking for someone called the crocodile in this part of the world. That's kind of the hidden name of this person. Here, we're just introducing the idea. We have a military camp here. The military camps, you go to them for many different reasons. Obviously, quests take you here, but it's also a great place to find gear and equipment. It's a military location. Here, what we're seeing is our companion, Senu. Senu, she's Bayek's eagle, and you use her to scout the world, to find opportunities, to tag dangers, so enemies. So here we've done a little bit of tagging. The reason we're going here, it's really just to get a little taste of what it is to infiltrate an area, to find some gear, do a little bit of stealth. There we can see the bow usage. So bows are very important in this time period.
They will attack on sight here.
Here we're going to go in and kind of try to be sneaky about it. We've worked very hard on the combat element, the stealth element. Combat has been built from ground up. We wanted to go with a different paradigm. We wanted to go with something that was much deeper in terms of the behavior of the characters, in terms of the player understanding how does my weapon work, the speed of the weapon, the distance of the weapon, how many enemies am I fighting.
Smell for that matter.
So here we're showing that combat is dangerous. So that guy running away, he's going to light a brazier to call in for reinforcements.
Need to get you in the...
So there we go, creating some chaos. I'll let this play out. So what you see there, this is a very fundamental change in the combat system. In previous ACs, you could never swing your weapon and hit air. It was a paired animation system, if I'm getting very technical. What we have here is a hitbox-based system, which effectively means you swing your weapon. If something's there, it gets hit. If it's not, well, you just swung at air and you exposed yourself. All of a sudden, that means the length of a spear, the speed of the weapon, the number of enemies all matter. Enemies will not be kind to you. They will attack more than one at the same time. So we give a lot of defensive options as well. So there's a dodge, you can defend with your shield. There's also a parry. Here we wanted the idea that flowing between range combat and melee combat was also very fast, very seamless. Depending on the playstyle you prefer. You know, if you are someone that likes using the bow inside combat, we try to support it as much as possible. What we've seen with our players in AC is that we have really two types of players, the people who are warriors and the people who prefer to be stealth. And what we try to do is cater to the different play styles and to say, if you want to go in one direction, it's totally valid. One is not better than the other. If you want to be a ranger with a bow, if you want to be that stealthy assassin, or if you want to be a warrior, there's ways in the progression system to dedicate yourself to that style of play. So this guy's a commander in this camp. So he's a little bit more difficult. As you can see, we wanted players to care about understanding what equipment does this enemy have. Having a shield, having a shield like that, it means that certain attacks will be blocked. So you will have to dodge, you'll have to jump around. You maybe want them to commit to an action before attacking them. This is a military location, so it's a great place to find loot and to find gear to outfit Bayek. There we go. So here, leveling up is very important. XP is very important. So in this case, we've leveled up to 21. We've received an ability point. Here's the gear. So this is the ability graph. The reason. Thank you. So on the one side, the seer aspect of the graph, it's really about manipulation, manipulating your enemies, animals to get the job done. The center is about being a warrior. And on the left side, we have the hunter path, which is really about either being an archer or being that stealthy assassin. You can dedicate yourself in any direction. The reason it's a graph is we wanted for players to be able to form their own path. Maybe you want to be a mix between 2 styles or 3 styles. The thing is, every tree, every part of the graph, I should say, has an end node that you can keep pumping points into. If you want to focus on being the ultimate warrior, you can do that, or you can spread yourself out. It's really up to you. Here, we can see gear really matters, the level of the gear, the types of gear. You can see they have stats, they have attributes, they have properties, and they have rarity. So the more rare weapons, the legendary weapons, they have more attributes, more properties. So fighting with a Kopesh sword that does bleeding damage is drastically different than a spear that is poison tipped. And this stuff really matters when you start getting deeper and deeper into the combat of the game. You wanna jump in, Karl?
Hey guys, so I'm going to stand up because it's easier to see the screen if I stand over here. So yeah, I'm Karl. I'm a producer at Ubisoft Singapore, and in Singapore we've really worked on the areas around the water. So the water tech, the ability to go underwater, and any vehicles on the water. So here we see Bayek on a felucca. He's currently identifying where his next objective is, and as it is a locate objective, we've actually worked on that being something that you intrinsically need to use Sinu for, Sinu your eagle. So here we see the new locate mechanic, and somewhere on this lake is Hotefres that we're looking for. That was very quickly found, but he's on that ship. So in playtest it usually takes players a lot longer, but he identified that quickly. And what's interesting about this new locate mechanic is that often the next step of a quest is moving in the world. So you might not know exactly where it is, and us as game developers don't know where the player is going to discover that next part of the quest. So that really makes the world much more open, much more different, and everyone has a unique experience. Yeah, so here Bayek is sailing a military felucca, and he sailed past one of the islands there, which actually has a hippo den on it, but that's we haven't gone into that just here. He's very focused on the quest, so we'll see if Hotefres is on this ship. Oh, there, the flash on the screen indicates there's some threat nearby, so that's probably either a crocodile or a hippo. Oh, but they're hidden away. So we have two types of ships that go around the world. There's the Kirkross, this one, which is more of a merchant ship, and then there's the trireme. I'll leave the cutscene for you guys to enjoy.
So, now they send the son of Egypt against me. It has been a long time since I spilled so much blood.
I was sent by Polydorus. We share a common interest.
Who are you? And what do you want, eh?
I'm Bayek of Siwa, and I seek information on the crocodile.
The phantom that has brought Faiyum to its knees. What could you want with him?
He belongs to a group that is destroying Egypt. I intend to hunt every last one of them down.
Then you are looking for the same thing these soldiers were.
And what would that be?
I stole a ledger from a Greek magistrate I suspect of corruption. It should reveal the identity of this crocodile. And if we get it to Apollodorus, we may be able to bring down the whole organization.
Where's the ledger now?
I gave it to my wife Henut to hide. As long as the Ptolemies think it's with me, my family is safe. That is why I have to stay on the move. Here. This will tell Henut you are a friend to be trusted. It is for my daughter, Shadia. Once you have the ledger, find me at the docks south of Euhemeria. Bayek, take a look around my ship before you go. I keep records of local problems which may have the crocodile at their root.
So here it's really, we're showing that there is a deep quest structure in the game. So this is one of the main quests where we just met with one of our informants who's giving us a little bit of a hint about how we can find the crocodile, this person known as the crocodile.
Who is this shrine dedicated to?
This is a side quest that we happen to pick up here.
People killed by fires in Dionysia.
So what players can expect is that there is a ton of side quests, put a lot of effort into telling these really beautiful, deep stories of Egypt. We did a lot of research on ancient Egypt, and we found hundreds of really amazing characters and stories that we wanted to bring to life and to propose to our players and have them experience this, but also kind of wrapping it in why is Bayek helping these people, and what does it mean when it eventually leads to the birth of the Brotherhood. That was a very poorly timed jump. Luckily, Bayek is a proficient swimmer. There we go. Yes, yes. So as you can see, the world is very seamless. We wanted to make sure that you're constantly immersed in the world. So by the way, you know, the fauna of Egypt. We wanted to do it justice and represent it well, but also make it truly living in the world. You can see the blood of the other croc back there. It will actually attract other predators to the area. Eventually, I've had situations in this context where the felucca, which is this type of boat, it'll start sinking. You'll go in the water, it'll sink all the way down. You can actually swim with it. At some point, it was actually pushing me down while I was trying to fight a hippo. It was super cool. The world, we tried to make it as immersive as possible, really selling the fantasy of being inside ancient Egypt. All this water is fully explorable, and there is stuff to find underneath the waters, hidden sunken tombs, sunken temples, sunken ships, with opportunities there for the player. Here, you can see I think we have some of the most beautiful water in games. Kudos to Ubisoft Singapore, Karl, for this beautiful water.
Good water guy.
Yes, that's good water. Thank you, Geoff. Really, so this area that we're in, the Faiyum, the story, the narrative of this area is that there's a major land dispute, and so this was historically what happened in this place. When the Greeks came to live at this part of Egypt, there was a huge dispute between the Egyptians and the Greeks. But here we're not here. Bayek is not here to settle that dispute. But naturally, because we're in this area, he will get caught up into that conflict, and that's part of the aspect of learning about Egypt. We use the quest structure not only to have awesome gameplay and to meet really great characters, but also to, we wanted to do ancient Egypt justice and to show how amazing and beautiful this land was, to show its beliefs and its rituals and so on. So here, as you can see, we don't have a mini map anymore. We're trying to have people more looking at the world itself. We're super proud of our artists, our engineers that are able to bring like such a beautiful, vast world to life.
Hold there!
Here you can see the draw distance are incredible. It's
we need to clean this
I'm
place
super
up
proud
and
of
get
the
it
team for
running
this.
again. Don't worry.
So I'll let this
I won't
little
let them
cinematic
close
play.
down this kitchen.
Henut?
Yes.
Hotefres sent me. I am here to help. And I have your daughter's doll.
Great. I was awaiting word from my man. Thank you. Come, eat and we can talk.
Oh, I love my new doll, Bayek. I will name her Iset, and she will be the protector of all Faiyum.
Ever since Hotefres got a hold of that ledger, Faiyum has been on edge. Soldiers with torches patrol every night, and this alms kitchen was practically razed to the ground. They have left Shadia and me alone at least. Hotefres has made sure of that.
Where is the ledger now?
I instructed our most loyal servant to hide it in our villa. They can search the place as many times as they want. They will never find it.
Can you take me there?
I have been summoned to the lighthouse for another of their routine investigations.
That may not be safe. The Ptolemaic authorities seem to be working with the crocodile.
It happens every few days. Don't worry. They wouldn't dare touch someone in an official position. Shadia, show Bayek the way to our home.
Come on, Uncle Bayek.
So the beginning of the game's
You can see
story
our
starts
house
all the
from
way
that
back in
roof.
49
Follow
BC. So
me.
for us on Assassin's Creed, that's obviously way further back than we've ever been. So an interesting challenge we've had is
Lead on, little one.
we don't have
I will
blueprints
follow.
or a lot of historical evidence of what life really was like then, the architecture, the villages. So it's been really interesting having a historian on the team to try and imagine what it was like, to try and look at like satellite data of Egypt in current day and imagine what it was like a few thousand years ago. And so the artists on our team have really had to be more imaginative and creative than ever before because we don't have those blueprints.
I come up here a lot. Everything looks so beautiful. The people should be happy, but they are not.
Don't worry. Your mother and father will look after them. Where is your house?
On the hill there. See it?
Yes. And soldiers. Thank you, Shadia. You should go back to your mother now. It might get dangerous.
Nothing bad will ever happen to me. Iset can fight, you know. She will protect me. La la la, la la la.
So here,
Bye,
we're going
Shadia.
to show off a little bit more,
You and
more
Iset
stealth.
enjoy your life.
We're going to show a lot of combat, and later on we're going to show a little demo for the Gladiator Arena. But here again, so this is Senu once again. So Senu is also helping us find our objectives, as we did with the ship earlier. Here we're tagging enemies. You can see these enemies are level 20, which generally means that they're about the equivalent challenge for Bayek at this point. It makes sense. So of course, everything that Senu can do in terms of scouting, Bay can do himself. It just, obviously, a bird's eye view is way more efficient. Senu is able to fly through the world quite fast. You can actually fly across the whole world. There's no limit between Bayek and Senu. You can fly across the whole world. It's beautiful, and instantly come back to Bayek. That's something that we're super proud that we've been able to engineer. So this situation is actually Hotefri's home. So this is his place. It's been taken over, commandeered by guards because they're looking for this ledger. And this ledger is going to give us more information on who is this crocodile person. So we've worked on a lot. You'll hear a lot about combat, but we've worked a lot on stealth. By the way, it's incredible the amount of stuff Bayek can do carrying a body. Very strong thighs, very strong thighs. So there's a lot of abilities linked to the stealth path if that's the approach that you want to take. But again, we fully assume that if you wanted to go through this fighting or using your bow, it's totally fine, it's totally valid. There's a lot of abilities linked to manipulating AI, to messing with them, even animals.
Who's there?
So we can see there's some guys inside the house.
Stop! Ha!
There's a guy up there. Oh, he wants to run away. So loot, as you can see, loot is actually very important in the game. We have a massive loot system.
Where is it?
Finding gear
They
with
said
different
it would
levels,
be
with
here.
different rarities and stats and attributes, especially off of soldiers, is one way to actually get through the game and improve Bayek's loadout. For those of you who know the lore of AC, you might ask, where did this hidden blade come from? So just for the fans of the lore, we obviously know our lore, and it's in the story. You'll get it. It's cool. It's a nice homage to the series. Okay. Oh yeah, it ends there. Okay.
That's the first clip.
Yeah. Thank you.
Back down. We get some time for some questions. There's another demo we're going to see in a second. It looks great, and I love seeing so much raw gameplay here, which is what a lot of people want to see at E3. So we got some questions from the global gaming community on Facebook that we're going to get to, and if you guys have questions, we'll get to you in a second. But let me ask a question from Facebook. First of all, this one comes from Tina Kova, and she wants to know, are there any playable female protagonists in the game?
So this is primarily Bayek's story. We do have other playable characters that are played in select quests, but that's as far as we're going with today.
Okay.
We don't want to. There's some surprises in there. We don't want to ruin them. Yep. There are other playable characters in the story, but it is primarily Bayek's story.
Right. All right. Next one comes from Chris Smith. He wants to know, what can you tell us about present-day Abstergo? How will it feature in the game?
So, again, we're not talking about present day or that kind of stuff just yet. At this moment right now, we wanted to focus on announcing the game, introducing the high-level concepts of the game, because it is a drastically different AC. And I can say that and we can show videos, but this is why we have a playable demo. We want people to come and actually feel that the experience is really drastically different. There's a ton of stuff in this game. We know our lore very well. We listen to our fans. We pay attention to the feedback, to the forums. As harsh sometimes as they can be, that's okay. We love the feedback. We're here to make the best game we can possibly make for our fans and for ourselves. We take a lot of pride in what we do. But also wanting to pay homage to our fans who have been with us and who invest their time and money into our experiences. So we do listen. Having said that, more stuff will come as this campaign goes on. For now, we're really focused on Bayek's experience, the birth of the Brotherhood, and ancient Egypt.
All right, one more question here, and then we're going to go to someone in the audience. Think of your questions. Gil Martins, I'm not sure if you can answer this, but will the game include online multiplayer, in parentheses, the Brotherhood kind of multiplayer?
So we do have, Assassin's Creed Origins is primarily a single-player experience. And we do have online features that are there to enhance that experience for sure. Again, later in the campaign, we'll get into more details about those online features, but it's a primarily single-player experience.
So not a full kind of separate multiplayer mode or anything?
No, we wanted to put all our effort and really nail this reinvention of Assassin's Creed. We wanted to make sure we got it right. In terms of scope, the game is absolutely massive. I don't think anybody will complain at all that it's that the scope is not massive. We're super proud of what we have, and yeah, I think people will play it soon and send us some feedback, I'm sure.
Looks cool. All right. Tons more Facebook questions coming in, but I want to get to some folks in the audience with questions. If you have a question, raise your hand. We'll bring a mic to you. Let's go to the guy in yellow back there.
You go ahead and stand up.
Hi, I'm Justin.
Hello.
You were showing the demonstration where you can upgrade your weapons throughout the gameplay. Will weapons be destructible in this game? I mean, will they break? Will you have to fix them by picking up equipment to fix them?
Good question.
Yeah, so questions about destructibility of equipment or weapons. So we don't have durability or that concept. Instead, what we wanted to focus on is finding new loot and upgrading that way. So new levels. There's many different types of weapons, and each type of weapon, so there's 8 categories of melee weapons, 4 categories of ranged weapons. They have a drastically different playstyle, each one. And what we wanted players to do is that every time you find a new type of weapon, to start understanding how it works, to start understanding the combos that you can do with them, and actually to find the playstyle you prefer. And then it's all about levels, attributes, properties. So at the beginning of the game, you're going to be learning what is it like to fight with a spear versus dual swords, which are super fast, but you have to get in close. Once you start understanding this, eventually you start getting more rare weapons, and at that point, you're going to start seeing, okay, a poison-tipped spear is even more different, or a weapon that does bleeding damage, or a weapon that you can light on fire. These are the elements that, as the game progresses, we wanted players to always be proposed new depth, new layers of thinking. We had played around with the idea of durability, but it wasn't comfortable for us. We didn't like it that much. So that was a design decision we had made.
All right, one more question, then we're going to get to the second demo, get more questions. You asked one already. We don't have mics upstairs, unfortunately, guys. If you can shout it out, maybe. Go for it. Okay. All right, so the question, for those of you on the stream, sorry you couldn't hear it, but I thought it was important to get someone in the balcony up there, because there are lots of you guys up there too. Historical, yeah, thanks for sticking it out, guys. It's going to be a fun day. Historical accuracy, you heard it, in terms of, characters, Alexander the Great. I think some people wonder the pyramids, how will they factor into it? What can we expect?
Yeah, so precisely speaking, this is 49 BCE. which is the time of Cleopatra's ascension to the throne. So this is the context we're in. Ancient Egypt is huge in terms of its span of history. At this point, there's 3,000 years of history. When we were debating at what point of history do we go into, we looked at different parts. We even looked at the time period where the pyramids were being built. The issue there was that there really wasn't much else there. We wanted an ancient Egypt that was already filled with mystery, with things to uncover, things to discover. Bayek is exploring the world as much as the player is. And so we wanted this land to be absolutely rich with content. So that's why we chose 49 BCE, which is at the height, it's centuries of accomplishments and grandeur in Egypt, but it's also the beginning of its demise. It's, the line of pharaohs is about to end. The gods are about to die. The way of life for Egyptians is going to forever change. And Bayek being this embodiment of ancient Egypt, he is the physical representation of ancient Egypt. What does he have to do? What does he have to become to be able to exist in this new world that's coming? And this is how it leads into the birth of the Brotherhood. And it's the journey that we propose to our players. So of course, we know the history we've chosen. We play with that a lot. For sure, you meet amazing, bigger-than-life historic characters going through really epic historic events. As I said, this is the moment where Cleopatra is about to ascend her throne. I think that's enough about the context. I don't want to give too much away to spoil that, but for sure we know this history and we play with it.
Cool. All right.
I
Well,
hope that answered that question. Think so? Maybe? Thumbs up?
we can see. Thumbs up. All right. You have another demo we want to get to. So let's. You guys want to introduce what we're going to see here? Arena stuff, right?
Yeah. So another demo that we have here at E3 is the Gladiator Arena. And what we're going to see is a few minutes of the structure of it. So you fight a few round waves of enemies, and then you're introduced to the boss. So one of the big things we wanted to push in Assassin's Creed Origins are boss fights and challenges. Yeah, for sure. Cool. And the combat system allows us to do this, and we have epic boss fights. We have many of them, a lot of them even optional. So if you want those, that extreme challenge of combat, it's there. So we'll get a taste of that right now.
Yeah, let's take a look at the arena. Here we go.
So just for the context of the situation, you originally get introduced to the Gladiator Arena through the main quest line. So Bayek, he's trying to lure out a specific target. And so he covers himself going into the Gladiator Arena to pretend to be a gladiator to be able to lure this person out. That's how you get into it. Once you've gotten into it, it becomes optional. And we have a ton of bosses and a ton of rounds. There's a lot of cool gear to get to win through the Gladiator Arena. But again, it's the player's choice. If you want to keep going down this rabbit hole, you can. And if not, that's okay too. You're going to miss out on amazing bosses. That's your choice. Here, we're seeing a new weapon, which is what we call a heavy bladed, so like a giant axe. And you can see some of the combos here. Fighting an enemy with a shield is very different than an enemy with a sword or a spear. Here we finished the first wave, a new wave is coming, so we can see the shields are bigger. There are different types of shields. There's guys with hammers. Here you can see at the bottom of the screen, we've built up this adrenaline meter. So this is kind of a meta strategy in the fight system where you can build up this meter to unleash massive attacks, or what we call Fury mode. Each weapon has its own style of devastating attacks or Fury mode. And eventually what we want players to do is to, here we go, this is it. Yes, yes.
Round of applause for the team.
There we go. See, very poorly timed swings. The person who played this, I don't know, we're gonna talk to him after this. He's standing just off stage. So here we can see two massive dudes. Yeah. This part is hard. Even for me, it's very hard. But you can see, so, a little detail. You saw him get knocked to the ground. things like status effects, like knock to the ground, stun, breaking open their shields. All of this are properties of weapons, properties of combos and attacks that we want people to learn that depth and master it. And every weapon has its own style. So here we're able to knock him down, which allows us to start unloading. But he still has his shield up. So here we want to play with things like having the guy be committed to a move before going to his back and doing a critical hit. So there we go. So the waves are done. Now it's onto the boss of this area. So we'll let the introduction play. But again, just to repeat, we are introduced to this through the main quest line, and then after this point, it becomes an optional piece of content. As now Bayek has the right to enter an arena, it's up to the player to continue or not. So we go with the Slaver. So as you'll see, every boss has their own unique set of combos, unique weapons. Keep in mind, this is, I'll say it, I'm super proud with what we have, and I'm really happy that we're able to show it off. It is still a work in progress. We still have, we're still working on this thing. We're tuning and balancing, working out the wrinkles. But we're super proud to be able to show it off and have people play it here at E3.
This is playable over at E3?
This is playable here at
wow.
E3, yes.
Okay.
You have to watch out for those spikes, so the environment matters. You can use the environment against the enemy if you're clever, if you know how to use your weapon, if you know how to use push attacks, this kind of stuff. We really wanted to craft, it's a dance between these two. So now he's getting pissed. So as he goes through the fight, he gains new attacks. His strategy will adapt to yours. He's gonna get tougher and tougher. As you can see, he's actually getting faster with his attacks, getting more aggressive. And I'll say this is one of the simplest bosses we have in the game. We have some super cool, unique bosses. We put a lot of effort into this.
Almost halfway there.
So that's something important that you can do. You can kind of prepare an attack, feint an attack, be able to dodge last second. Hitting an enemy in the back will actually do bonus damage. Hitting an enemy on the ground or getting them on the ground will also do bonus damage. There's quite a lot of depth. It's a very different fight system than we've ever done. And that's why we have this here at E3. It's because, we can say it till we're blue in the face. We can show awesome videos, but it's not the same if you don't feel it. And that's why we have this here. We want players to feel it and to realize, okay, yeah, it is drastically different. It is something new and hopefully something quite cool.
It's pretty intense here. Is he gonna make it?
I don't know. we'll have to talk to him afterwards to see how he feels about this. Wow!
He took like 2.5 bars of damage in like 2 shots. Wow!
What a finish!
All right, very impressive. No mercy. That's how this crowd.
Boo! Man, this crowd is vicious. Wow.
We want blood. All right, you did it.
So here.
Very cool.
Thank you.
All right, well, we have a couple minutes just for a few more questions. Jump into Facebook, and of course, if you guys are watching online, you can ask your questions on Facebook with any of the panels over the next couple days. Let's see. Here's a question from Stacy Bork. She wants to know, do you get to choose which weapon you want to take into the arena battles, or are you restricted to only specific types?
So for the Gladiator Arenas, we wanted it to be actually a showcase of the weapons, and we've actually crafted that experience to really be highlighted when using certain weapons.
Mm-hmm.
So for the arenas, you do have a loadout that you go out with. But in the world, obviously in the world, it's a different story. In the quest line, it's a different story. You actually have, obviously, whatever you have loaded on.
Yeah.
So we play with both, actually, trying to highlight equipment if you've never seen it before, because there's a ton of it. so that's in the arenas. But the bosses in the world, the bosses in the quest lines, obviously it's the gear you have on.
Yeah.
We have bosses in the open world, so you'll come across them in certain forts and and military
Okay.
locations. So that will be obviously you'll have a unique loadout, whatever you choose there.
Open world boss
Yeah.
can go for probably quite a bit of area, right? Is it chasing each other?
Yeah,
Are they contained
actually,
areas, or is it sort of more open?
we have both. We have bosses
cool.
that are in forts, or just optional world. We have bosses that are roaming the world who are hunting for Bayek. So I don't want to ruin the surprise of that.
All right.
Yeah, we have both. We have
cool.
guys who are on vehicles. Vehicles are really important to the combat system as well.
Yeah. All right, cool. Time for one more question from the audience. Someone hasn't asked a question yet. Any questions for the Assassin's Creed team? Yes, all right over here. Sorry. You guys this side. Start with you in the glasses right there. Probably get you a mic.
Excuse me, guys.
Thank you. I was wondering, do you learn new combos with each weapon, or do you have all the moves from the start when you get the weapon type?
No, each weapon type has its own combo set, and it's actually quite deep. You also unlock, if you go through the ability graph, you can unlock deeper and deeper combos. So actually, that devastating attack you saw with the axe, you can unlock actually a combo that launches from that attack.
Oh, nice.
You can actually have combos that launch from picking up somebody else's weapon and throwing it at someone else. There's a huge depth to the combat system.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Very cool. All right, well, thank you so much, guys, for bringing so much
Thank you.
gameplay to the
Thank you.
E3 Coliseum. Lots of great
Thank you
stuff.
for
And
having
we
us.
have an incredible afternoon ahead for you guys. We've got Wolfenstein 2 will be up here. Matt Pat will be here shortly to talk about the world of online streaming. And then we've got Dissidia. We've got Spider-Man for PS4. And, of course, we got Jack Black and Tim Schafer a little bit later. So lots of great stuff happening. Stay in your seats. We'll be back in just a couple minutes with Matt Pat. Thanks very much, guys.
Thank you,
Appreciate it.
everybody. Thanks,
Bye.
Jeff.